So we've got some lovely fish here. I'm using a dory fish, a frozen dory fish. You can use any other kind of white fish like cod, haddock or something like that. We're just going to make a simple batter and we're going to get this together. The one at the back has got a nice thick batter. The one at the front slightly thinner. Beautiful. So we're zoomed right in, as you can see there, and I've cut them open. You can see it's perfectly cooked. Beautiful. Now the ones on the right here, you can see are a thicker batter. The ones on the left slightly more thinner. This one, the thinner one, will be a little bit crispier. If you want crispy, go for the lighter one, but yeah, I quite like that one. Okay, so we're going to start off by making a little bit of batter. Now I've got here 2 cups of flour. That's a plain wheat flour. 1 egg, and then here I've got baking powder. Not baking soda, baking powder. There's 1 tablespoon there, and we've got some cold water. I'll explain how much cold water as we do it. We're going to eyeball it. So in that bowl is 2 cups of the flour. What we're going to do first is just get a little bit of salt and pepper in there, just season it, and then we can move on. Just mix that seasoning in. If you want, you can put some sort of garlic powder in here if you want. I'm just going to keep it nice and plain. So we're going to add the tablespoon of the baking powder. In that goes. And again, a rough little mix in there. We're then going to add the 1 egg, which I've beaten. In that goes. And then we're going to start to slowly add cold water. Now, if you want, you could use beer. Some people would put beer in this to give it a kind of extra body. Or you could try Sprite even. I've seen people do it with like Sprite or 7-Up, you know. But we're going to just add water. Mix. And then we're going to keep adding until we get to the perfect consistency. So that's looking good, but obviously too thick. So a bit more water. Back in a moment. Okay, so I've used 2 cups of water to 2 cups of flour. That kind of consistency. So we want it thick, but you don't want it too thick because it'll be really sort of floury and horrible. But nice little whisk up. We're ready now. Beautiful, that's done. Let's have a look at our fish. So this is the fish that I'm using. This is a dory fish. This was a frozen fish, fillet of fish. Just let it sit out for a while into some cold water. Then I patted it dry because it will hold water. So I want to get as much water out of it as we can. Of course, you can, be using cod, haddock. You can use any fish actually for this. Okay, so in that bowl, I've got about 2 or 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Cornstarch and corn flour are the same. We just call it different in different parts of the world. We're going to season that again. So more salt and more black pepper. Quick little mix, just a little mix of that. And then we're going to take our fish and we're going to just flour that before we add the batter to it. So give it a nice dip in there. Make sure you get all the corners. And like you see this fillet, you can open it there, you see? So get in there as well. Depends on the type of fish, but yeah. Little dust in, and then we're ready for a dip and nice hot oil. So I've got in there some oil. I'm using a sunflower oil. You could use corn oil or something like that if you wanted. I've got about 3 centimeters there. So I'm not deep frying. Like you can really go for it. Get the oil right up there and go for it. I'm kind of going in between shallow and deep. It's on medium heat. I just want to try a little bit of, you see that? Just a little, there's your batter in there. So that's all right. Now you don't want it too high because you're really going to burn the outside. So we're going to take, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. We've got our batter there. We've got our fish. We're going to go in. I don't know if you can see all of this. You kind of need to get it underneath. And then draw it out. And let it just drip off a little bit. And then in. Okay, so that's just been in about 2 minutes or so, 2 to 3 minutes. Let's flip her over now. I mean, if you were deep frying this, you obviously wouldn't have to. Over she goes. Now, the fish that I'm using is very thin and light, so it will cook really quickly. As you can see, I'm just basting it now. And I've gone for a nice thick batter, you could add more water and get it a bit thinner. But I kind of like the thickness of this. So we're going to go, I'm going to be turning it a few times. It's going to just take just this fish, like I say, it's very, very thin. It's just going to take about another 5 or 6 minutes max. So there we go, that's looking beautiful. I've flipped that around, it's nice and crispy. And like I say, this one is a thicker batter. I mean, maybe what I'm going to do for the next one, I might actually thin it out a little bit so you can see what that looks like. But that's beautiful, I actually quite like it like this. So that comes out onto some paper, and then we'll do the other one. But yeah, it's looking great. So I've just added some more water to that, just a little bit to make it a bit thinner, just to show you that one. So same process, we're gonna drop in and then take it out, let it just drip off a little bit, and then off we go. As you can see, you get more of the kind of crispy bits coming there, just slightly lighter. Same process, back in a moment. Okay, brilliant, that's fantastic. So about the same amount of time that was. Looks beautiful. Like I say, this one is a little bit lighter than the other one. The other one's a bit thicker, which I actually like. Okay, and there you go. So one thick batter, one a bit lighter, both really easy. So you can really adjust the batter mixture as you go along, you know, play around with it. Like I say, I quite like the thick one. But that's it, beautiful. Obviously nice with some chips, eh? Or French fries, as some of you call them. Hope you enjoy that. Nice and easy. I had loads of you asking me about this. So yeah, there you go. See you later.